Hello and welcome to the Pointless Distractions podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Draper. With me,
Graham Bergeron.
And Scott Westerman.
All right, boys. Episode 7. How you feeling so far?
7.
Things are doing looking good.
We launched and we actually have people listening. It's just blowing my mind right now.
Just a few, but enough, I think.
Thank you to all the listeners who are listening to this 2-Bit Slime show, because I didn't think we were going to have any listeners. So thank you very much for supporting us.
Yeah, shout out to all you guys. I'm super happy that we actually pulled this off. And even if 5 people were listening, I'd be fine with it, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot more than 5, though.
So how many do we actually have?
I believe
on Facebook, 83 followers.
Oh, wow.
13 subscribers on YouTube.
Straight to the races.
Woo!
Now, you were saying...
time to make merch.
Yeah, I know.
Where's our Patreon?
Any outside of the United States, or is it just pretty much...
Still only... Nope, one Canada, but mostly all United States other than that.
So we're international now.
Whoever's in Canada, if they could reach out on any of our socials or YouTube, or just curious.
Cool. So anything else going on this week? Anything fun in the world of Graham and Kyle? Because I got nothing. It's been a very boring week for me, which is kind of nice, actually.
I know. Same for me.
Kyle, I heard you got some feedback at work on the podcast, though?
Oh, I did. So I have a small complaint for the, I guess, the new Pointless Distractions complaint department.
Uh-oh.
I guess on episode 2, the sociopath episode, I don't know which one of us had made disparaging comments about Friends in The Office, saying they were horrible shows, but we have a complaint from, her name is Savannah. She's a preschool teacher and bartender, and she says we have horrible taste in shows, so I just want to put that out there.
Well, I thought that was a given.
I don't even remember that. I love The Office, and I have never seen Friends.
And I might have been me, because I know I love The Office, and I know I said I watched Friends because my wife used to love it.
That has to be what it is then.
But I don't think I said it was a bad show. I just said, yes, I've seen it because I had a wife and she watched it.
No, I essentially walked into work and I was ambushed. And she was like, I have something to say about your show, complaint. And I'm thinking, like, what the hell do we say? Like, what creepy fucking thing? Or just
what did Scott say this time?
You don't like Friends of The Office? But I will stand by that Friends is a garbage show. And if you like it, I don't understand you.
Well, no, it was actually a good show for what it was.
I do like the precedent that this sets, though, that if anyone has any complaints, you just give them directly to Kyle.
Yes, send them directly to Kyle. Let's get back to
Please don't do that. No personal attacks, just actual complaints about the show. And I'll be glad to hear them and bring them forward.
Oh, okay. Well, our first dissatisfied customer. I'm sure there's more.
She's still listening and actually mentioned, I actually asked her about coming on because she has some amazing stories in her field that she was talking about. I was like, you want to come over, come on Zoom and come on. So Savannah, first complaintee.
Even with the complaints, thank you for listening. We do appreciate that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Hey, you made it when you have haters.
Yes, we already have haters. Our first hater. Sweet.
It was so far from hate, but I'll take it.
Oh, well. Feedback is feedback, right?
You don't like one of the most famous shows of all time, and this show was on probably before this girl was even alive, so...
I don't know if I might have said I don't like it, but actually I was lying because it was
probably me.
I mean, it was kind of, yeah. I mean, it was the most popular show in America for a reason. It did have really good characters. A couple of weenies, but for the most part, it was a pretty darn good show.
I mean, that's like me talking about Three's Company. That was on pretty much before I was born, so I love that show.
I actually grew up watching that because I'm an old fart.
Graham, what's a old guilty pleasure show of yours?
From before I was born?
Oh, yeah, around there.
Everything, because Graham's so freaking young.
Graham is 13 years old, by the way.
Hey.
With 2 kids.
14 in 3 weeks. No, I don't.
So do you have a show, or?
I don't know. I never watched a ton of stuff that was before my time. I watched like the '60s Batman with my dad.
Well, there you go. That's way before. That's before my time too.
But I don't know if I would consider that like a guilty pleasure.
You weren't watching like Melrose Place like I was?
No.
Oh my lord! Wow.
No, I watched that inappropriate content.
Yeah, we need to find a way to leverage this whole generational gap we have here. Because I'm like 10 years older than you, and you're like 10 years older than Graham. So there's got to be something we can do with that, game-wise or something.
The game of all games.
Yeah.
You just get someone else in their 20s, and I know plenty of people that would be down for that.
There you go. Maybe your bartender friend.
Oh, I don't even want to hear her choices for anything.
Wow. Here comes complaint number 2.
Yeah. Good thing this episode's probably not out for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
Graham, didn't you have some kind of Yu-Gi-Oh news you wanted to cover?
Yeah, I mean, it was just something interesting that happened in like the Yu-Gi-Oh space over this past couple weeks. There was a card that, for some reason, had never received a reprint since it came out in probably like 2006.
Oh, wow.
And no one ever knew why. and like it was a card that had appeared on the show, so like it wasn't obscure or anything. It was never a good card, but there was just never any reason why it didn't receive a reprint. And everyone always speculates. So the Yu-Gi-Oh community assumed that it was because it was based on like American superheroes, and like the main monster, his name is Neos, and so the one that was never reprinted was called Air Neos, and so everyone assumed that there's like a Turkish airline called Neos, so they think that the only reason why specifically the Air one couldn't be reprinted was because of a copyright dispute with this airline.
That was Nike with the Air Jordans.
But this week, we actually discovered like the reason why it was never reprinted. So it turns out that there is.
I'm on the edge of my seat right now. I'm telling you.
Have either of you heard of Beyond Comics or BeyondComics.tv?
No.
It's like a very, very obscure, like, independent comic distributor. And they have a character named Ravedactyl who debuted right around the same time as this card. And they actually were forced to sue Konami, the company that creates Yu-Gi-Oh, for copyright infringement, because there are actually like super similarities between the two characters. And so there have been so many interviews with this guy. His name is Greg Weich, I think is how you pronounce it. And he's done a ton of interviews this past week. And essentially it boiled down to, like, he saw this character and he said, oh man, that looks a lot like my character. And he had actually shared a booth at Comic-Con. He was right next to, like, the creators of Yu-Gi-Oh! When they had gone on record saying that, like, they were coming to America to go to Comic-Cons and stuff to get inspiration for, like, American superhero-themed cards. And so he called them and he was like, hey, like, there's a striking similarity between your character, Air Neos, and my character, Ravedactyl, who I have a copyright for. Like, what's going on? And Konami essentially just said, like, sue us. And he was literally, like, forced to, so that he could enforce the copyright on his character. And the interesting thing is they settled out of court. Like, they came to an amicable solution, and then Konami still just refused to print the card, so now everyone thinks that the main reason why they don't reprint it anymore is just out of spite, because they don't want to give this other character any like free publicity or anything. So there's nothing forcing them to not reprint the character. They're just doing it out of spite, apparently.
And how long was this a big mystery in the Yu-Gi-Oh community?
Since it came out in like 2006, so almost 20 years. And so finally this person was able to do interviews and stuff now that it's finally come to light, and been like, I can't really talk about the specifics of it because obviously there were a ton of NDAs involved. But it was just, it's just one of those stories that's like shitty big
This
corporations.
was covered in the news, or
Um,
I found an article on Screen Rant.
yeah, I'm sure that there are some articles on it. There's like an MSN story.
I'm sure it's a real hoot to read.
Oh, it looks like it's pretty snooze-inducing, yeah.
But it's just one of those things. Like who cares? Sort of thing.
Another
Like
I
it
just heard
turns
10
out,
minutes of it, and I don't.
it turns out that like
I was gonna say I don't think our listeners do either.
20 years of people speculating this huge
Check
mystery,
those numbers, boys.
and
Oh,
it
they're
just
going
turns
down.
out it was just a corporation being shitty to an independent comic author.
Huh, that never happens.
Well, and everyone was
Okay.
trying to throw him under the bus too, and like send him death threats and stuff as the internet does.
How dare you take my Airneos from me?
I think Graham studied that article like he was going to do it on like National Public Radio. I mean, that was definitely professional, but
I have the Wikipedia open.
now Graham Bergeron in Yu-Gi-Oh!
But first, let's talk about
Yeah.
the state of the deficit
Yeah,
in Utah.
tricked everyone. Turns out I'm actually in school right now for card game law.
Card game lawyer.
Next, the
Nobody likes a
conflict in the
rules
Congo. But first,
But first, a 20-year-old Yu-Gi-Oh mystery has been solved.
stupid.
Oh, it's very stupid, but it's interesting.
All right,
What do
what
you
else
think,
we?
listeners? Interesting. Hit us up in the comments.
It's interesting if you play Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay.
It'd be
Oh.
like if there was a secret G.I. Joe for 20 years.
No, we wouldn't have covered that long.
There would have been 50
Like,
other podcasts covering
There's
it, though.
Big Boa or whatever. That story. That's
Hey, you're the one who said you needed content.
might be filler, but
Hey, content's content, right?
so I guess I heard the Pope died.
Yep.
What's your
One dead
take
Pope.
on that, Scott?
Yep, he's dead. I don't know. Dead Pope.
Graham,
Don't care.
how's NPR in the Vatican?
I mean, he should have said thank you to J.D. Vance.
There you go. Yeah, J.D. Vance meets with him, and the next thing the Pope's dead. It's like secret assassin here.
Could be possible.
Breaking football trophies, knocking off popes. Is there anything this man can't do?
He can certainly do couches.
Ooh. But all right, well,
We've become.
look what we've become. We
Want
were
to
2 minutes on, so now we're
move
at
into your
1:31.
game? We'll do it a little early this time.
Sure. Games are fun. People like games. We like games.
What are we playing, Scotty?
We are playing a Tell 'em Steve Dave favorite, 1 True 3. Because every other podcast does it, we're going to do it too, dang it.
You want to explain the rules
No
for?
original thought here. Okay, each one of us has 3 stories. 1 is true, 2 are not. We're going to basically make a statement, and then the other players, we're going to make our statements, make our 3 statements, and then the other players get 3 questions asked for us for each one of our statements, and then they have to suss out which one is the true story and which one's, well, basically by default, which ones are the 2 fakes. And that's pretty straightforward. It's usually people do 2 truths and a lie, but this is basically 2 lies and 1 truth.
All right, who
Pretty
wants to go
straightforward.
first?
I don't know. Should we rock paper
I say
scissors?
Graham. It's usually me.
I don't.
I'm the,
I feel like I
sacrificial
shouldn't
lamb.
go first because I have no exposure to this.
Okay,
game
that's
at all.
fair.
So I would.
I'll go first. Mine are pretty tame and lame. So,
All right.
Tame and lame. Okay, go for it.
all right.
Story number 1 or statement number 1. I'm gonna
I
take notes
once
here.
at a party pissed into an ice cube tray and put it back in the freezer. Now, ice cube trays, kids, are what we did before ice makers.
Oh, people still use ice cube trays.
Oh yeah,
They're just made of silicone now, so you can get the ice cubes out.
Next one.
that's a good one. I hope that's true.
So, as a child, I had a weird fear of running out of gas.
Okay,
Like, extreme fear.
gotcha. All right, and number 3.
As a child, every time we went out to eat at a restaurant, I would get sick and we would have to leave early.
You would get sick. Okay,
All right, now we each have 3 questions total. to
we
try
have
to
3
figure
questions
out?
for 3 for
Yeah.
each one.
Okay.
Or is that how it works? I thought it was 3 for each
Yeah.
statement. Yeah. Okay.
You get to ask me about the ice cube incident, 3 questions each.
3
Yes.
questions each. Okay. Do you remember whose house you were at when you pissed in the ice cube tray?
Like their name? Absolutely not.
Okay.
Did anybody find the ice cube tray before it was frozen, or did they?
I wouldn't know.
So you left before. Okay.
Yep.
Why did you pee in an ice cube tray of all things?
Because the people that were holding the party were douchebags, and I don't want to give too much. I didn't really know them, but I thought it'd be funny.
So where did you do this? Did you take it into the bathroom, or did you just like whip it out right there in the kitchen?
No, it was discreet. Took it into the bathroom. It was near the kitchen. It was, it was a party, but there wasn't 100 people watching. It was easy to pull off,
Okay.
especially with drunk courage.
This sounds like BS, because you got to go to the bathroom, pee in the thing, and then carry the ice tray gingerly with the piss in it from the bathroom back to the kitchen and put it in the freezer without anybody noticing. Yeah, that doesn't sound right. I want that one to be true so badly, but dang it. That just doesn't sound feasible, especially in a drunken haze.
We still have one more. That's it.
Now, you guys another
No.
question.
You have one more, right?
Okay.
I never said it was a drunken haze. I definitely remember it.
Well, you definitely remember it, yeah, but still, it sounds busy party. That sounds like a pretty complicated operation.
You heard nothing about the aftermath of this?
No, because I
Like,
didn't really
even-
know the people. They were just like I was tagging along to the party.
Yeah, but even in passing, you didn't hear anything about these people finding
No,
piss in their freezer?
no,
I want this one to be true.
100% no.
Okay.
Oh,
I want
just
to
can't
include
picture
more,
it, though.
but like,
Well, you can at the end once we make our guesses. Okay, I think we're moving on to the next one. Weird fear of running out of gas. This was when you were as a kid. You were okay. So the obvious question: you were afraid of running out of gas in a car or truck or whatever you were traveling in.
car, yeah,
Car. Okay. All right.
anything I was traveling in, but yeah,
Okay.
like not
was,
like a plane, but
was it just when, did you have a license? Were you the one driving, or was it just in any vehicle you were afraid of running out of gas?
no, it was when I was young.
Like, real little, like you couldn't drive yet?
Is that a second question?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I asked if
I
it
was a
only-
child. I think originally I did say when I was a child I had a fear.
Yeah, he did say that.
Okay,
Huh.
so, yeah, but, okay, so not when you were driving, when other people were driving. Okay.
Did you ever tell your parents about this?
Oh, they definitely knew.
They definitely knew. Okay. And what did they say about it?
I don't know. I was super young.
All right, during your entire childhood, did your parents ever run out of gas?
Not that I know of that I would remember it actually ever happening.
Okay.
Do you have
I would
any
say
idea?
no,
where
it
this-
never happened.
Do you have any idea where this fear came from? Was it like from TV or something?
I would say from all the horror movies I was allowed to watch.
Okay.
Running out of gas, not starting the car, whatever.
That kind of makes sense.
Like, this was everywhere, too? Like, driving in the city, driving, like,
And-
during the day, driving
and
at
then I was
night?
probably-
It's just like,
I was probably 4 or 5 years old, but I just remember it was quite a few times, enough that family members will remember it, and I remember it. So I don't think going to the supermarket, I was worried, but, long trips or, going to my grandparents' house, which was like an hour and a half away.
okay.
So I think that's 3 questions from each of us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this last one, every time. Okay. Can you say this one again?
So anytime as a kid, when we'd go out to eat anywhere, I would get sick we'd pretty much have to leave early, like wrap it up, like let's go.
Did you get sick like barfing?
I would say half of the time. Definitely at
Really?
least dry heaving, if not barfing.
Okay.
But definitely
Did you
some
just-
barfing.
Like, did you just not want to be there, or was it just like a subconscious thing?
I think just weird, fucked up childhood nerves for no reason. Didn't understand it. Just
Okay.
I had to.
When did this stop?
Oh Jesus! Probably around when I was 10.
Okay.
So knowing that you did this, your parents still took you out to dinner, took you out to eat.
Well, yeah, we were a family of 6. We're not just gonna like never go out. It was just super inconvenient. Like we still went out to eat, but we would have to like rush through, and it'd be like, "Oh, Kyle's gonna get sick. Let's wrap it up. Hurry up! Like take that shit to go."
We're going to the Sizzler. Maybe this is the time little Kyle's not going to barf all over the waitress.
I puked in a buffet. I'm gonna add that in there.
That's a nice addition to the story. Okay, I got one more question. What do I want to ask? Let's see. So this was when you were young. It ended probably when you were 10. You never
Well, for
wasn't a
years
food
before
allergy.
that, it wasn't just when I was.
Yeah. I know. I say it kind of ended when you were around 10. So it wasn't a. Sounds like it was more of an anxiety thing, not a food thing. Well, sure. I'll ask that. Did you ever find out if you had allergies or anything to food in any way?
No allergies, nothing.
Huh, man, I just don't know what to ask on these. Okay.
Did your parents ever do anything to like prepare for it? Like, did they tell the waiter that you guys might need to leave unexpectedly,
No.
so to like bring the check early?
Can we
or
get a
something?
bib, please?
Oh, I mean, they might have been like, "Hey, can we get the check?" Like, my son's sick, but no, we didn't go to the restaurant. I'd be like, "Yeah, he might puke somewhere, so chop."
Make
no.
it snappy. Get us our bread, get us our drinks.
Yeah.
Kid's gonna only
Gotta get
we're on
the fuck
borrowed
out.
time here. Okay.
Okay.
This is tougher than I thought it was gonna be. Okay, so number one, you pissed in an ice cube tray at a party because the people were douchebags. You had a weird fear of running out of gas when you were a kid, and then you got sick at restaurants every time you went out. Oh man, they all could be true, but there's all things that just are like don't seem right. See, the
They
thing
can
with the
be
running
true,
out of
right? As long as it didn't all
Yeah.
have to happen to us.
I guess. I don't know. See, the running out of gas thing sounds like something a little kid would think, but you said you were like 4 or 5 years old, which I don't know if you knew how a car ran on gas at that age, Oh, this is tough.
See, I'm leaning towards the gas one.
I'm kind of leaning towards the gas one too, but just the fact that he said he was like 4 or 5, that just, that's the parts that get me. Yeah, the getting sick at restaurants sounds like it might have been a one-time thing that happened. Maybe a couple times, but not every time. That seems weird.
See,
Although Kyle is kind of a
that
weird
one
guy,
I'm
so-
thinking. I'm thinking that one is true, but it wasn't you. I think someone else puked in a buffet.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning. I like the puking in the buffet. That was a nice touch. I think I'm leaning towards 2. I'll make 2 my final
Yeah,
answer.
I'm gonna pick 2 also.
All right, and drum
So,
roll.
Number 2. You
Yeah.
guys think that I was afraid of running out of gas?
Yeah, why not?
You're both 100% correct.
Yes.
Yes, gotcha.
But the other 2 are completely true stories.
All right, so elaborate. So who did this
Pat-
pissing?
Pat did the ice cube tray one, and I had follow-up questions too. It's like,
How did he pull that out?
I was like, it wasn't like yellow piss. He's like, no, I was drinking, so it's like clear.
But how did he get it from
I mean,
the
this is-
bathroom back to the freaking freezer without anybody why is he carrying an ice tray through the living room? From the
We
bathroom.
can ask him at some point.
All right, we're going to have him on. 'Cause I want to go a deep dive on this story.
I don't think there
I
is.
just
There was
I
truly
feel
no
like
follow-up.
really.
He might know follow-up, because were you with him? Was he invited to the party? Was it his friends?
No,
or-
this was.
Oh, you both just kind of
Oh,
crashed
I was
it.
probably a
Okay.
teenager at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, Pat's like 6, 7 years older than me, but he always told me about that one. I was actually saving that one for a game, and I was like, no, I'll pull it out. But the getting sick, that was my sister, and that's 100% true, and that happened multiple times for years,
Really?
including puking on a buffet station.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they ever figure out what it was? Was it just anxiety?
Craziness. I don't know. Anxiety, sure.
That's weird.
But
Huh.
we'd always get to a restaurant, and my parents were like super into seafood. And, like, we're gonna go here. Been waiting weeks. We're gonna wait for 2 hours. Get in there, sitting there eating. Get the entree. Oh, Katie's about to get sick. I'm like, all right, we gotta go.
Get the barf doggy bag and barf bag.
I don't think it would be worth it for me. I would just stop going out to eat.
Seriously.
I'm talking about she was like 5, 6, 7, and 8. She wasn't. It wasn't like a baby. So
Yeah.
Or I'd find a sitter for just that child.
like I said, family of 6. I don't know if that would have worked. But I do remember a time there was this restaurant my parents really wanted to go to. We got there. We were sitting in like the lobby. We waited like an hour. We're about to be seated, and my sister's like, "I don't feel good." And we're like, "Oh, we got to go." Half an hour down the road, she's like, "I'm hungry now," and we had to stop at this shitty diner and eat there.
Oh,
I don't know. They put up with it, so
all right.
Grandma's
I mean,
system
I
out.
guess I can go next.
Oh, okay, sure, go for it.
All right. So my first one, when I was a teenager, I went out to my family's lake house by myself and thought I was going to die because I saw a bear in the woods.
Was it shitting?
Is that a question?
No. Saw the bear woods, thought he was going to die.
you
Okay.
went to the lake, saw a bear, and almost shat yourself.
Doesn't
All
mean
right,
shit in the woods.
So, two, in middle school, while I was performing at a choir concert at a mall by my house, I passed out in the middle of the concert.
Nice.
And in my early 20s, before this podcast was even a twinkle in my eye, I tried to start a Let's Play YouTube channel with a coworker from work.
Okay. All right. So we went out to the lake house by yourself. Thought you were going to die because there was a bear. Passed out at a choir concert at a mall. And then tried to start a YouTube channel with a friend. Okay. So first story with the bear. Why were you going out there by yourself in the first place?
I went out by myself all the time. I would just go swimming in the lake.
Okay. This is a family thing then, I guess?
Yeah, it's just like private property. Kyle's been there.
Okay.
I would just
That's
go
why
out.
I'm wondering if I have a slight advantage on this one, but
I would just go out to be by myself and swim. Kyle,
how old were you at the time?
17. I had probably had my license for like a year.
Okay. Because I know the lake house is in Nashua, and he lived in Nashua. He grew up there, so
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes from my parents' house.
Oh. How far away were you from the bear?
Closer than I would have liked. So it's kind of like a. So there's an upper area that has like a cabin and a grill and like a campfire, and then there's a lower area with a beach, and that's where the lake is. And I was on the beach, and I was walking back up to the car, and it was like over by the cabin. So it was far away, and I probably could have gotten to the car if I needed to.
I think you have one more question, Kyle. Maybe two.
No, I have two more. So he's by himself. Jesus,
Ask him if he was skinny dipping.
that would make no sense.
That's what the listeners want to hear, though. They want to hear Graham's naked body sliding through the water.
I know it's a
as
long
bears
ass
look on.
road to get. It's like a dirt road to get to the to that lake. So I'm wondering. He's 17. Goes out there. How long were you there? Like swimming? I don't know if it's gonna matter, but
I mean, I usually spent like an hour when I would go out there. Like, I wouldn't just go to swim. I would go out and I'd like bring some comics and read them in a chair on the beach and stuff.
so he's 17. He's driving out there by himself, swimming for an hour and reading comics.
See, that's where you just lost me. He was 17. He was alone. Those weren't comics. Unless they were Heroes comics. Those were Playboys, weren't they?
Were you masturbating in the cabinet? Do I have one more?
Is that your third question?
Will it get me anywhere? No. Do you remember what comics you were reading?
No.
Say no.
Okay.
All right.
I think
So that one's
Scott
put
still
to
has
bed, I
one more
think.
question.
No, I asked 3.
That's a crazy question you would ask me, and I could tell you what comic or whatever the fuck I was doing.
All right, Rain Man.
I wanna burn, baby.
I think I asked 3 already because I think I asked a quick follow up, and that counted as my 2. Okay. Well, let's move on. The choir concert. It was at the mall, and you passed out. Was this? What season of the year was it when this happened?
Christmas.
Okay. And I think you said he was in high school at the time, maybe.
No, that was this one was middle school.
Oh, this is middle school. Okay, I
Yeah,
know you
I'll
said he
give
was
you
high
that one
school.
for free. It was middle school.
Okay. Did you guys have to wear like big long robes or anything?
We had to wear like dress shirts and
Okay.
black pants, but it wasn't like anything super elaborate.
I jump in.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Do you know why you passed out?
I don't. The teacher and my mom thinks that because I was so nervous, I was standing with my knees locked for too long, and like all the singing with my knees locked just made me pass out.
Okay.
This was a choir. Do you remember what song you were singing at the time?
I don't.
Ah,
Do you know what the theme of the choir? So it was Christmas. Oh fuck! I just ruined that one. So it was a Christmas choir.
well, they already answered that for me, so I don't think that counts.
What happened when you woke up? Do you remember? Did you go to the hospital or?
The
No,
hottest girl
so-
in school was giving me mouth to mouth.
Kyle, do you remember when the Nashville Mall was an indoor mall?
I know the Pheasant Lane Mall.
Oh, so there used to be a small mall in Nashua that was an indoor mall, and that's where we were performing. And they actually brought me into a Claire's, like right next to where we were performing, and laid me
Like
down
the
on one of
jewelry
the
and
like.
shit.
Yeah, they laid me down on one of the ear piercing chairs.
And then they pierced
No,
his
he's going
ears.
detailed. He might be trying to fuck with us.
Uh-huh.
Wait, do I have one more left, or was that it?
I think you have one more because I won't count the theme one.
Did you catch any shit in school for it? Like, did anyone know, or did anyone like make fun of it?
Not really. I mean, I was kind of in the back, so no one really noticed besides like the people standing next to me, and they were more concerned on if I was okay. Like the next time I saw them.
All right.
All right. So the third one, you said you're in your early 20s, and you wanted to start a Let's Play YouTube channel. What was going to be the focus of said YouTube channel?
It was just going to be a Let's Play channel. We were just going to play games and comment over them.
Like video games?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
real big in like the mid 2010s.
All right. I have a question.
Yeah.
Do I know this person, or have I met them?
I don't think so. They did work where we worked, but they left like long before you started working there.
What was your favorite video game at the time that you were going to play?
So we recorded a few episodes, and we were playing Borderlands 2.
I wish I
Did
knew more
these-
about video games to know the years.
Did these episodes ever get released?
No, it just we knew right from the start it wasn't going to work, and that footage was immediately deleted.
Like our episode 2 and 5?
Yeah. And like everybody's saying, and I wish the other episodes too. Okay, huh. So this is mid 2010s. Borderlands 2. So you would have been, you probably been in your 20s, yeah? Well, they said early 20s, I don't
Yeah,
you
it was
said
like
early 20s?
my early mid 20s.
know. Okay. Recorded a few episodes, but they'll never see the light of day. They've been deleted. How'd you record these episodes? What kind of tech were you using?
I bought a microphone, and I think we were just recording with like the standard like Windows Movie software.
Okay. Well, I guess that's all I got.
I gotta think now.
Yeah, you hear the stories and you think
I know he was a big Borderlands guy. He might be trying to trip me up that I don't know this person, though. Or know of. Can I ask like a direct question if it was a certain person you have to answer? Or you can you could just lie, so.
You can ask me if it was a certain person, and I will tell you the truth.
Was it Timbus?
No, they stopped working there before you started working there.
Yeah, but like I said, you could be lying. So
Oh,
No,
dirty liar.
it was not Timbus.
See, this is why he has his camera off, because he knows we can't see his reactions to these
yeah,
questions.
exactly.
He's planned this way ahead of
I
time.
know one other person it could possibly be, but
It's like, I can't
wasn't
find the
him either.
webcam.
can we throw that in as a bonus? It's not Alex Chong.
Was not him either.
All right, I think that's my 3 questions.
All right,
Okay.
let's hear your guesses.
So we got the bear, we got the choir, passing out the choir, and we got the YouTube channel. Well, I think Kyle's probably known you long enough to know whether the bear story is true or not at this point.
I'm still not sure on that one.
Well, there you go. The concert
I
makes sense.
just can't see
because-
Graham going down this long ass dirt road to go swimming by himself. I don't know why.
The choir concert, passing out the concert, I can relate to that because I had a similar experience when I was at church once, and where I think it was like confirmation or something. We had to wear these long ass robes, and it was hot. And I did the same thing. I locked my knees too long, and I just passed out. So that makes sense. But then you kind of
That's
lost
a
me. With the
thing?
whole,
Locking your knees and back
yeah,
out?
apparently.
Yeah,
I didn't
you've
know that
never-
either.
You've never experienced that? I've like seen it happen to someone firsthand. Also,
It happened to me
No,
firsthand.
yeah.
I've never heard of that.
But then you kind of lost me with the dragging you back into the mall, like inside the mall, and sitting in the Claire's chair, and then nobody at school giving you shit for it. That
The whole
Didn't
Claire's
sound right.
part was super specific, though.
yeah.
And then
But that's just
him
weird.
asking
Why
about
would-
the outdoor mall, but then Graham's a smart guy, so I don't know.
But why wouldn't they just drag you down and take care of you there on the side, or put you on a chair? If there's a concert, there's probably seats around. I don't know. That one, you had me until you didn't. So I don't know. If you threw me off the scent with the Claire's thing, then that's good on you. The YouTube channel, there's no way to prove that. I mean, it sounds legit because every freaking person in the world seems to want to be on YouTube or do a podcast.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Only losers make podcasts. Man,
I'm going to go with the choir one.
I think I'm going to go with the YouTube channel one.
The true one is the YouTube one.
Woo!
So the bear one completely made up.
Really?
I think in my entire lifetime, I think I know of one person that's seen a bear out there.
I've seen a bear 4 times camping. Not there, but still.
Well, I'm talking
Aw.
like in that we've driving down the road, we've seen bears. But
Yeah.
only once I've ever heard of someone seeing a bear like in our area.
I just thought of the question I should have asked on that question. Oh well.
But I did go out there by myself a lot. That was like my
To read comics. Hmm.
it was the
Tough
swimming
game.
it was more swimming. And I would
Yeah.
just go out there to relax. Like that was my quiet place.
Aw.
The concert, that concert did happen. But my mom actually came like around the back of the thing and like pulled me out before I passed out. So like that concert did happen. I didn't actually
Almost passed out.
pass out.
But you came
So
close.
close, though.
Yeah.
You almost passed out.
Almost
Wow.
passed out. My mom literally
At least
came.
my
and, like,
fake stories
was like,
were real, but other people.
And then I did try to start a Let's Play YouTube channel. Chong and Timbus didn't necessarily want to do it, but this other coworker named Cam did, and so I bought all the equipment, like the microphone, the bar for it. I thought that I tripped up when I talked about the microphone because I know that I told you that Chong actually.
Yeah, I had
owns
that in my head
mic.
too, 100%. But
Chong has that microphone now. Oh no, we had it. I was like ready to go forward with it, but this other person just like wasn't ready for it. I had everything, the equipment. I had a logo. We were going to be the Beer Battered Gamers.
It's a good
well, at
name.
least he had a logo, right?
Oh,
But yeah, nope, that is the true one.
nice.
God
All
damn
right.
it, I changed it last minute, but well played.
Oh,
Okay.
I literally couldn't sleep last night, so I went through every scenario in my head from start to finish so that I would be able to answer all the questions.
Nice. But you did a good job because, I mean, up until the Claire's thing, I thought it was number two as well.
So
That was just a little too
we
strange.
actually were like it was like a tiny little mall with like 8 stores in it, and we were
Uh-huh.
performing outside of Claire's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, maybe if I actually knew the layout of that particular mall, it would have made more sense, but it just sounded weird.
Sorry, you
Oh,
didn't
well,
have the blueprints pulled up.
yeah.
I mean,
It's like
that mall
Nashua,
hasn't
New Hampshire, a place I've never heard of.
that mall hasn't existed for 20 years probably.
like most malls, unfortunately. All right. Ready for me?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
All right. I feel like I meant overkill on these now. Although you had a good pissing story, so. All right. First story. In college, I started a fight at a frat house by dumping out a beer at a very inopportune time. Story number 2. I once sat on a live nuclear warhead. And number 3, I barfed on my girlfriend when I was drunkenly trying to kiss her.
Jesus.
Okay. Okay.
No, sorry, number 1 again? You're probably going to have to read this multiple times.
In college, I started a fight at a frat house by dumping out a beer at a very inopportune time.
All right.
Why was it not the opportune time?
All right, well, it was me and 3 of my buddies, and we were getting ready to leave, actually. And it was not our frat house. We were visiting. And it was a very old house, and at the bottom of the banister, they had like the big post or whatever at the end at the bottom of the banister. It was missing its top, so it was just a big hollow open space. And we were getting ready to leave, and I was like, well, I think this will be funny. So I just dumped my beer into the top of that thing. As I was dumping that, the guy that lived at the house, one of the guys lived at the house, one of the frat guys, just came out of a room at the top of the stairs and just saw me do it. And there was no way for me to stop it.
Okay.
Okay.
What college was this at?
This is at the University of Dayton. We were actually visiting. I was at Bowling Green State University at the time, which is Northwest Ohio. This was Dayton, which is kind of central west Ohio.
All right, what were the ramifications of that act, if you will?
Well, we got escorted out by a group of angry men, and as we were walking away, basically one guy kind of sucker punched me from behind because he knew I was the asshole that did it. So
you dumped the beer, guy saw it.
Guy saw
you
it.
out.
Yeah, escorted us out of the house, kind of hit me from behind. I kind of stumbled. He hit me again, and I was not feeling well. The guys kind of broke it up, and then I barfed all over the place, and we left. I think my barfing actually stopped the fight. So it wasn't much of a fight. It was more like me getting my ass kicked real quickly.
Like, were you guys just there for the party, or was there a specific reason you were at that college at that time?
Yeah, I was in a fraternity at Bowling Green, and we were visiting our brothers down at UD.
They were starting a Borderlands channel.
Yeah, we were starting a Borderlands channel. Actually, no, at that point it would have been like a freaking, I don't know, Mortal Kombat channel or something.
Can you name the buddies that you were there with, like quickly?
Jared and Brett and the other guy, who's Christian, I think his name was. Yeah, he's a little guy, Giants fan. That's all I remember about him.
All right, is that it for story 1?
Well, I think I have one more.
I think he has another one. Yeah.
Okay.
So you said you were visiting your fraternity brothers at this other
Mhm.
college, but so when you were saying it, you said just that it wasn't your frat house, or that it wasn't your frat.
It was our frat. It just wasn't our frat house because it was the Dayton chapter.
Okay.
We were visiting them, and I was a bad guest, I guess. Alcohol's a hell of a drug.
So that one seems kind of tame, but
I'm the kind of tame guy. All right, number 2. I once sat on a live nuclear warhead.
all right. Where was this?
This was in Germany when I was in the army.
Did you know that it was an active nuclear warhead, or did you find out like as you were sitting?
I
on it or
absolutely
after?
knew that it was a live nuclear warhead. Yes.
Why would you just stumble upon a?
Oh, look, what's this?
Wait, that's on a bench. That's a nuclear warhead.
Yeah, when I was in the army, I was actually a Pershing missile crew member. Was my official job title, and those are like the little medium-range nukes that they haul around on trucks, and then basically set up, quit in the field, and quick fire and all that. So this was at our storage site, and we had to go into there every now and then and, do whatever maintenance and crap, make sure that the containers were all untouched and all this. So I didn't actually sit on the warhead itself. I sat on the container that the warhead was in.
Where were you,
Because we
you
just-
stationed in Germany?
Yep, 2 years.
No, I said where in Germany.
Oh, where? It was Geilenkirchen was the main. It was a NATO air base, actually, right on the border to Holland, kind of northwestern section of Germany.
Were other people with you, or did you just?
Yeah,
Like,
it was a group of us. We had to go in and do whatever maintenance and records keeping, all that kind of crap. So, of course, we're not supposed to sit on warheads, but everybody's like, "Oh, I'm going to sit on it." So we did.
okay. Were you the only one, or
No.
did other people do it too?
Oh, that's what I was
Oh yeah,
just
we were
gonna
all
ask.
doing it. We were all doing it, yeah. Because you tell a bunch of soldiers not to do something. What's the first thing they're going to do? That thing you told them not to do.
And what year was this?
This would have been 1990 or early 91. I think it was 1990. Because I think by
So
1991...
like before the Gulf War.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched the Gulf War on CNN from our enlisted men's club.
I mean, if it was 1990, I was 6 months old, so I was sitting on some nuclear warheads too.
Woo!
So stupid.
I don't know what that means, but it sounded cool.
Oh no, I change a lot of diapers. I stand by what I said.
Watch the blast zone. Anything
All right,
else?
so next story.
Story number 3. I barfed on my, now ex-girlfriend when I was drunkenly trying to kiss her. Bazooka barf
What was her
all
name?
over. Carrie.
Where were you guys that you got so drunk?
we were driving home from a party. She was driving. I was in the passenger seat. Started to get a little frisky. Tried to, give her a little smooch, and she just kind of nudged me off, and I don't know what happened, if it just a combination of alcohol or how she just happened to hit me at a bazooka barf right in her lap.
What was her
Come on.
reaction?
Well, other than almost
Stop the
crashing the
car,
car.
like, and then
No, we kept driving. We were about 2 exits from our house, I guess. So she just kept on driving. I just got yelled at a lot. Yeah, she was hitting me and telling me I was an asshole and all this kind of stuff. We were coming back from this Hawaiian theme party where they were making Mai Tais, and I didn't realize how much alcohol was in a Mai Tai apparently, and I had a few too many.
Yeah, I mean that's I've been there. Okay. Was this what led to her becoming an ex-girlfriend?
ooh, good one.
Yes and no. We did break up about a week later. I'm sure that was part of it. But we had other issues. We just weren't real compatible in the first place, and that probably was just the straw that broke the camel's back.
What year was this?
This would have been 2004. It was the summer after I got divorced from my first wife.
Yeah, because I know you said you met Heidi in the mid 2000s, so I'm trying
Yeah, I
to
met Heidi in
think.
2006. August of 2006, if you're paying attention at home.
They're not.
Nope, they're not. They've
I
tuned
think
out
I have
by
my
now.
answer though. What do you think of Graham?
I don't think it's that third one. I'm
I'm
like
leaning on the nuclear warhead.
No, he was sitting on the
100%.
nuclear warhead.
Not leaning on it, sitting on it.
Yeah, no, I'm leaning
Yeah,
towards.
no, he's leaning towards that one.
What's a movie with the dudes riding the warhead down?
That's
Dr.
Armageddon.
Strangelove.
That's Steve Buscemi.
No, it's not.
No, Dr. Strangelove.
Yes, originally.
Oh well, I haven't seen that, so I've seen Armageddon.
Neither have
Oh.
I. So
I've seen Steve Buscemi do it.
no, it's the warhead story.
Yeah, I'm
The-
leaning towards that
With
one.
what military shit I know, it just makes sense. Like Germany at that time. I mean, you could be stationed there anytime, but I know he wasn't in Desert Storm.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
doing.
I watched Desert
I-
Storm on CNN like everybody else. Like you guys did.
I believe that he was stationed there at that time. It was just whether or not that happened while he was there is what was tripping me up.
Well, no offense, the first story with the beer and at the frat house, that was kind of lame, kind of boring. He
Yeah,
just poured out a
I'm-
beer into like a banister and then got kicked out.
I'm leaning towards 2 because I'm guessing for 1 that he was at that party, but he wasn't the one that poured the beer. So I'm gonna
Oh,
also
definitely.
say
He
2.
didn't make that up.
I'm gonna also say 2.
Final answer? All right.
Yeah.
That number 2 is correct. I did once sit on a live nuclear warhead.
I knew it.
I suck at this. So the first story that did happen, and that was me that dumped the beer, but we just got escorted out of the house, and there were no punches thrown or anything. That was my thing. Number 2 is true. We did sit on a nuclear warhead. And number 3 is also a variation of a true story. Only I was driving because I was bad and I was wasted out of my mind and I barfed all over myself.
I've done that before.
It was gross. I was cleaning up that car for like the next 2 or 3 days, still finding chunks, and it was horrible.
Can honestly
like, yeah,
say
this
that
one-
I have never done that while driving.
Oh, it was bad, and it was my ties, and it was gross.
I think I've only puked in a car once, and it was out a window.
I've done that to other people's cars.
Oh yeah, I wasn't driving.
Actually, I did one of those in Germany. Actually, left a nice streak down the side of his Citroen.
Yeah, it's probably after
beautiful.
that radiation poisoning sitting on the fucking
Yeah,
nuclear
probably.
bomb. My
Yeah,
hair
it
was
was-
falling out too.
My hair was falling out. My balls fell off. It's great.
Puked up my spleen.
Spleen.
So
So
I
yeah,
think that
okay.
means
Well,
the only person to get one wrong was Kyle.
I'm sorry.
I'm
For
sorry. For shame. Bad Kyle. All right, so that's our first attempt at 1, 2, 3. Apparently, we need to work on our bullshitting skills a little more because those real stories got sussed out pretty well.
I know. I wish we
Oh.
had done like 2 rounds at this point.
Oh, there was a correction too when we were talking about when we were just confusing the Doctor Strangelove thing. We screwed up a movie thing the other day, or one of our previous episodes too, when you mentioned Boys in the Hood, and we kept saying it was a Spike Lee movie, but you were right the first time with your initial instinct that it was John Singleton.
Oh, movie court.
So Kyle, once again proves his superior trivia knowledge over the.
Do you hear that, Graham?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was still just reeling from the fact that you couldn't tell which one of my stories was true.
I swear I was fucking leaning on that. I was like, nah, that's like.
All right, we got anything else? Are we just gonna vamp for however long?
I don't know, Graham. What do you got? Talk about something.
I have nothing else.
I have nothing else. Right.
Everybody's spent.
Yep. Telling all those harrowing stories of barfing and pissing in ice cube trays, I guess, wore us out.
Oh, you have no idea the
I
the
still want to have
drunk
Pat on.
escapade stories.
Yeah, well, maybe we should have an episode on that. And then we'll discuss to all of our followers, or maybe make more.
Christ.
Oh, hearing about my times brought me back to childhood.
The childhood.
When I was in the choir, my knees were locked, and I was drinking Mai Tais.
That
Out
is
of
a
my baby
real
bottle.
thing.
Is that an actual real thing?
That is an
Yes.
actual real thing. And that's exactly what my cousin told me afterwards. He's like, did you lock your knees? I was like, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I was out drinking one time, and
You locked your knees?
there was this person there that I did not know. He was just like a friend of the person's house we were at, and he was just standing there, and all of a sudden he fell over and face planted into a car, and then woke up like nothing was wrong. And he was just like,
Wow.
"Oh yeah, that happens when I lock my knees sometimes."
Horse shit.
Oh, that is 100% not horse shit.
Scott, I can pull up an article about locking your knees.
We're going to have to do an experiment.
I'll do it. I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now.
I'll do it right now. But you all we hear is,
He has no video right now. We can't see
I
shit.
know.
What happens when you lock your knees? Locking your knees.
For
This
how
is-
long,
welcome
though?
welcome to the Locking Your Knees
God.
podcast.
What happens? Will you pass out if you lock your knees while standing? A person who
Not if
stands
you're a
too
man.
long in one place will faint.
Pilates Encyclopedia. Locking your knees will turn off the muscles around the joint and can even cause you to faint due to reduced blood flow back to the heart.
Well, I'm sure if I went and stood out in the parking lot outside of my condo for a couple days, I'd pass out eventually.
A couple days.
Oh no, this happened in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Can we do an experiment with it?
Sure.
I'm not doing it.
Gosh, Jen, to lock her knees. Jen, stand up and lock your knees
There's
back.
no
and-
piercing chair for me to fall into.
All right. Sounds like we have reached a stalemate where we're staring
Yeah,
at
I
each
think
other
so.
and not saying anything. So,
Keep it pointless.
bye, everybody.